Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When the thoughts of sense gratification comes in mind, then immediately an intelligent person takes away that thought from the mind and chants Hare Krishna, brings Krishna in his mind. This is the substitute. So by giving a higher substitute, by thinking about Krishna, chanting Krishna's holy name, who is the Raso Vaisa. Krishna is the pleasure personified. So when we think of Krishna, we think of his beautiful form, we think of Krishna's beautiful pastimes, we chant Krishna's sweet holy name, then naturally we will forget this temporary sense gratification. That thoughts will go away. We take shelter of Krishna. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Daivi esa gunamayi mama maya duratya. It is very difficult to overcome my material nature. But anyone who surrenders to me can very easily overcome my material nature. That's why we have to take shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna all the time, 24 hours. Not just in the morning while we are chanting. We have to take shelter of Krishna 24 hours a day. All the time thinking about him. Taking shelter of him and praying him to give us protection from his material energy and keep us engaged in his service at his lotus feet. So that is the way how to get out of this cycle of sense gratification, which only gives eternal suffering at the end. That's why we are looking for eternal happiness, and the way for eternal happiness is to take shelter of Krishna, to chant Krishna's holy name and serve Krishna and try to enjoy in serving Krishna. Because when we please Krishna, when Krishna is pleased by our service, by our surrender, then naturally we will also be pleased. And that pleasure is actually eternal pleasure. We are looking for that pleasure. Otherwise, what is the reason why Krishna has to come to this material world? Krishna is coming to this material world just to exhibit his pastimes. He just gives a glimpse of his pastimes to the conditioned souls. That the conditioned souls, those who are looking for happiness in this material world, in this temporary sense gratification, so let them see that how Krishna is enjoying with his devotees. So let them see or hear about Krishna's pastimes. So they will be attracted to that. And that is the way to being attracted to Krishna's eternal pastimes. Then we will try to enter into that eternal pastimes and enter into a life of eternal happiness. So that's why Krishna is actually attracting the conditioned souls through his pastimes in this material world. So here we see that Prahlad Maharaj, he is putting this question in front of his friends to consider these things, that what is this material happiness and how it is this so-called material happiness or temporary happiness is followed by eternal suffering, birth after birth. So whether this is a befitting thing to do to get some little happiness and suffer from eternal miseries, birth after birth. One has to consider this. So if an intelligent person considers about this, then naturally he will come to this conclusion that this is not worth doing. That if we have to work so hard, then let us work hard for Krishna, who can give us eternal happiness. While we are going to serve Krishna, a little difficulty is there, then we are thinking, oh, this is so difficult. Let me go back to my past activities. Let me enjoy. But if we tolerate little difficulty, little sacrifice for the service of Krishna, and the result will be, we will be entering into a life of eternal happiness. So this is little austerity, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has made this austerity so easy for us, for this age of Kali. In previous ages, people used to do so much austerity. We have heard in Satya, Treta, Dwapar, people used to perform so much great austerity, like Dhruva Maharaj. He performed so much great austerity to get Krishna's favor. But in Kali Yuga, we cannot do that type of austerity. That's why this path of devotional service has been made easy in this age of Kali. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed us just to chant the holy name of the Lord. This is the austerity we have to do, just to chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just chant the holy name of the Lord, follow 4 regulative principles, study Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, hear Krishna's pastimes, and do some little service for Krishna. This much it is expected from us. And then this path of devotional service is not just dry. When we work hard in material world, this is all dry. When you work hard, people are going to their offices, going to their businesses, working very hard, and there is no juice in it. They have to work because they have to earn some money. But they are actually suffering while doing this hard work. They realize that. But because they will get money, they have to do that. But path of devotional service is not just a dry work. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, this path is pratyakshaavagamam dharmam susukham kartum abhyayam. That when you perform this devotional service to Krishna, this path, if you go in this path, you will have pratyaksha avagamam. You have direct experience of the happiness you derive from your devotional service. If dedicatedly you will perform devotional service to please Krishna, immediately you will derive happiness in your devotional service. That's why it said, you will realize that happiness. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmam susukham kartuvabhyam. So you will realize that happiness while even doing your devotional service, even if you have not attained perfection. In material world, unless you attain perfection, you cannot get the result of your work. It will all be lost. But here in devotional service, even if you have not perfected your devotional service, you are only on the path of devotional service. But still, while on the path, if you are dedicatedly performing devotional service to please Krishna, you will go on realizing happiness in every step of performing devotional service. And even if there is a break somewhere in the path of devotional service, it will never be lost. Abhyam. It will never be lost. But in the material world, if work hard, you stop on the way, everything is lost, you start from the beginning. So these things have to be considered. That actually what we are doing, where are we going? So Prahlad Maharaj's question is very, very important. He was not only asking to his demoniac friends, he is actually asking this question to whole mankind. Those who are after this material, sensual happiness, let them all consider this, that what they are doing, whether it is worth of doing. So if it is not, then what is the next alternative? Prahlad Maharaj has already stated in his teachings to his friends that how to surrender to Krishna. We have given our life for sense gratification, so many lifetimes. So let us take an oath that, my dear Krishna, I have given my lifetime, so many lifetimes, for sense gratification, and still I have not become satisfied. So, please, from today, I am surrendering at your lotus feet. Please accept me as your eternal servitor. And please guide me in the path of your devotional service. So if we just surrender this one lifetime, we have given so many lifetimes for sense gratification. Just we surrender this lifetime, one lifetime. Srila Prabhupada very mercifully has given us this Krishna consciousness movement, just to deliver the fallen conditioned souls of this age of Kali, which was the desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let us make the best use of this Krishna consciousness movement and dedicate our life, this one lifetime, fully for the service of Krishna. And be ready to take little hardship. It does not matter, we are taking so much hardship, sense gratification. So we should be ready to take little hardship to serve Krishna. And that will be a glorious life. If we dedicate our life fully for the service of Krishna, just to please Krishna, then this lifetime will be our glorious life, and at the end we will go back to Krishna. Our human life will become successful. That Prahlad Maharaj wants here. That's why he is telling his friends to think about this, that what we are doing and we are actually what we are supposed to do. how can we really become happy? In spiritual world, there is no sex pleasure. So one may think how they are living, but without sex pleasure, they have highest pleasure, much more higher pleasure than sex pleasure. Sex pleasure is very ignorable pleasure. In this material world, of course, it is considered highest pleasure, but in spiritual world, it has no place. So the relationship of Krishna with his devotees, with the gopis, this is all based on pure love. There is no lust. And Krishna depicted that while he came to this material world. He depicted that highest love. So, if we become free from this path of sense gratification and surrender ourselves for the service of Krishna, then we will develop that love within our heart by chanting the holy name of the Lord. All the good qualities will manifest within our heart. The heart will become purified, and the love of Krishna will manifest within the heart. Then, even while staying in this material world, we can realize that eternal pleasure, even in this material world. That is Jivan Mukta. So, in this way, while living in this material world, we become happy, and after leaving our body, we go to the spiritual world, we remain in the life of eternal happiness. Hare Krishna. So, is there any comments, questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, just like in virtual world, there is a very hardship. They are working very hard for their senses and for the pleasure. They also, some of them, they say that devotees, you people also have so much hard time. You are waking up so early and you have to attend the programs and you have to follow your regular principle. So we are much better than you because we are enjoying, but you people are not enjoying. You are giving pains to your body by waking up early and doing all the other things. Can you comment?
Yes. Materialistic people are working very hard, and they say we are also working very hard. Okay, then what is the result? They think they are enjoying. For how long? How long they enjoy? But we are enjoying, even we are working hard for Krishna, we are enjoying in every moment of our service. But are they enjoying every moment in their service? They are suffering. And when they enjoy for a little time, small time. And then again their hardship starts. So who is actually intelligent? They are working hard, we are working hard, but we are enjoying in every step of our service. And they are enjoying at the end of their hardship for a short time. And then again their hardship starts. So who are intelligent persons? Are they really intelligent? They think themselves intelligent, but they are not. They are wasting their time for this temporary happiness, and their suffering is not going to stop here. And when they take another life, they will do the same thing. So their hardship will continue life after life. But our hardship will be ending in this lifetime. This is so-called hardship actually. This is not hardship. Serving Krishna is not hardship actually. This is enjoyment. We get enjoyment. We get up early in the morning, we enjoy. initially, some people, those who come, those are new devotees, they may feel little bit difficult for them. But when they start coming, taking bath, coming to Mangalarti, they enjoy it. And after some time, they will become so habituated that they cannot even sleep. When the time of Mangalarti would come, they cannot sleep. They have to come because they get that pleasure here. So this is the difference. That we take little hardship, which seems to be hardship in the beginning, but that is actually pleasure. And what we are doing, we are chanting in Mangalarti, we are enjoying chanting and dancing. If someone suffers, whether a suffering man can dance? No. If someone is enjoying only, he can dance. That's why these materialistic people, when they come to Mangalarti or offer Arati, they cannot dance because they don't enjoy. And even they don't know how to dance. If they want to try to dance, they don't know how to dance. So, we are chanting and dancing, taking Krishna Prasad. Is it suffering? And doing a little service to Krishna. We are dressing Krishna, cooking for Krishna, cleaning Krishna's temple. This is pleasurable thing. Going out and speaking about Krishna. This gives us pleasure. When we speak about Krishna, it gives us pleasure, and whom we speak, that gives pleasure to him also. Even they are materialistic. But when they hear about Krishna, they also get a little bit pleasure. So actually, there is no hardship in devotional service. In materialistic point of view, they may think this is hardship. But because they have no realization of the pleasure of devotional service. And when they get that, then their attitude will change. Hare Krishna. Jai. Oh, you have.
Also, just to add a little,
Yeah.
we have a nice verse that we know that which in the beginning may taste like nectar, in the end will turn to poison, and that which in the beginning may be bitter, in the end will turn to nectar. So if one understands our process of devotional service, it's that we go through stages. And so now, most of us, we are doing sadhana. So this is following rules and regulations, although they may be difficult, and we're not so willing to get up and do these austerities. Just as Maharaj says, after a while, your eyes will open immediately
Yeah.
at the time of Mangalarti, and you will want to rush to the temple. So what is happening is that ruchi is taking place in your heart. You develop a taste, and again, Maharaj, these karmis, they cannot understand this. And so they will continue to do sense gratification, enjoy a little pleasure, but then in the end, they will suffer. Suffering will be in the forms of repeated births and deaths.
Thank you, Gopal Prabhu. Hare Krishna.